Okay, we've got a threaded and knotted needle. Let's learn some basic hand stitches and the best use for them. So I've threaded my needle. This might seem a really silly thing to say, but how long a piece of thread should I be using? Literally, how long is a piece of string? So, when you thread your needle, pull it so it's the length of your arm. Okay, length of your arm. If you're using double thread, double the length of your arm like this, okay? If you do it any longer, it becomes really awkward to sew with. Your thread starts to abrade, wears out, is really annoying. You're better with several short lengths than one really long one that you've got to get all tangled up. There is a saying, long thread, lazy girl, okay? Just thread your needle again. I have a threaded needle. Let's put a knot on it. I'm left-handed, so I am going to have the needle in my left hand. You're going to make a kiss. So my thread, this is the end I want my knot on, goes onto my pokey finger, needle on top, and then I'm going to go wrap, wrap, wrap. 3 wraps, 4 if you're feeling funky. Grab the wraps with your other hand, push the needle through the wraps, pull all the way through, knot. Okay, so now we've threaded and knotted our needle, let's show you some basic stitches on how to join 2 pieces together. We'll start with the running stitch. This is the simplest, most basic stitch. Okay, so running stitch. I've got my knot on my needle and I'm left-handed, so I'm going to work from left to right. If you're right-handed, work the other way. So running stitch is just very simply in and out. And you try and make both the stitch you take on the right side and the stitch that shows on the wrong side the same size. So again, here's my seam edge. I'm just going in, out, in, out, in, out. And when I've filled up my needle, pull through. So this is the most basic stitch. And I'm just making both sides the same. So you see it's the same. Okay, so this is very good for long seams where you've got a big bit to do, or maybe you're repairing a seam pop. You know, shirts often pop a seam and you can use the running stitch to fix this. But the problem is it's not fantastically strong. Okay, it's good for very simple stitching. And you can see on these Girl Guides badges, you can see this has been done with a running stitch, only just having tiny stitches on the top. But you can see it's the same up, down, up, down, up, down. Although I imagine these have been done one at a time. However, if you need something that's going to take a bit of tension, let me introduce you to the next stitch called back stitch. So back stitch, start in the same way. Start with a running stitch, okay? But instead of going in and out and out, I go back to where I was and I come forward the same amount so that my working thread is now in the middle. Push that through. Same thing. Go back to where I was, come forward, the same amount, working thread is in the middle, work my way through. So yes, it's slower, but it's very strong. If you have a seam that's broken that takes a lot of tension, and this makes a continuous line. On the wrong side, it looks like this because you're looping around yourself, and this is very strong. See, it looks almost like machine stitching on that one. So that's the back stitch. Anything that takes a lot of tension, use a back stitch. And again, when you come to the end, finish by going back on yourself, back on yourself, through the loop, fasten off. Okay, those are the 2 most useful hand stitches that you'll need. Running stitch and back stitch. In the next video, I'll show you the whip stitch, which is one of the things we can also use to sew on our badges.